it's Valerie from Shalebrook Handcrafted Soap in WOWZA River. And today I'm going to be doing a video on cold process soap by heat transfer. And I've done one before, a video on heat transfer. But this soap today, I'm going to put transparent soap gratings in it. I haven't made my own transparent soap yet. I would love to. In Nova Scotia, it's really hard to get Everclear or a high percentage of alcohol. The highest one I think I found was 63 with vodka and 73 with rum. And that's brown, but I might end up trying that. Or I could use isopropyl alcohol, and I do have that. So I'll look at that. But today, it's just on using those gratings in cold process soap. Now, I tried the gratings in hot process soap, and the gratings just dissolved right into the batter. So that did not work. But I've already made one of these, and I wanted to show how I made it. And I'm just calling this soap WOWZA. So this is WOWZA. I actually don't know. Yeah, I think you should be able to see that. And if you can see the gratings in it. Now, I doubt if you can see them shining through there because it's not an embed that goes all the way through. It's just mixed up everywhere, the soap gratings. But I was extremely pleased with that, and it does work. So I'm going to do that today. And this is a very simple recipe. Basically, it's just got 5 oils in it, and that would be castor, coconut, olive, palm, and tallow. And as far as super fatting goes, because I do up my recipes and I use them interchangeably with cold process and hot process, and the super fat I'm sure will get eaten up and I won't be able to know what it's super fatted with. But this is apricot oil with an essential oil blend of lavender, grapefruit, sweet orange, and lemongrass. And so the oil and the essential oils are in there. Everybody does their cold process heat transfers different. And I like trying different things, so I could do it one way like today and then do it another way another day. I just wanted to show you that the gratings I made were with Pear's transparent soap, which doesn't smell as good as it used to, not that I remember. So anyway, I just grated it up. I think you get 3 bars in a package, and this is what it looks like. And that's basically almost a whole bar of gratings. So I plan to separate this as well, and I probably won't show you the whole thing, but when I do my heat transfer, I like to take my hard butters and oils, and I like to like mince them up really fine and trying to get them light so they dissolve faster. And then I put my soft oils in I just don't want to tip that up too far, but in a separate dish along with my Kaolin Clay. And then I take my coconut milk, yogurt, and maple syrup and sodium lactate, and I put it in that. And then I'm just using water for the lye liquid, and I have my silken sugar in that. The other thing I did with this was, what was I going to tell you? That's awful. Yeah, I know what it was. So I'm doing this at 35%, which you could do a lot lower, 33, 30, excuse me. But I'm going to do it at 35 because I'm adding the soap gratings, and excuse me, want a fair bit of time depending on how fast this trace. So thank you for joining me today, and my husband's just going to shut that off and we'll set it up. And oh yeah, the other thing is to remember your safety gear, glasses, gloves, and I'm wearing a mask, so that's totally up to you. And hope you enjoy the video. We'll see you soon. So I'm just adding my hot lye. It was about 184, by the time I made sure everything was dissolved. So once it gets added, you just want to make sure you stir it. And just keep stirring, and it truly, it will melt. I would like the lye to have been a bit hotter, but it wasn't. Hopefully you can see in there. So just keep stirring, and I squish it on the side like this. And so I just wanted to show you that I've added the lye and it's melting. And what I'm going to do is shut the camera off, and I'll bring you back when all those hard oils have melted. So I think that was about a minute. Sorry, I should have timed that. And I didn't. This is a 2-pound batch. That was the other thing I wanted to tell you. And now I'm going to add my soft oils and the Kaolin Clay. And that just spattered up at me. So see, it's very important to wear safety gear. Making sure I get that all out. So I'm going to do the 2 colors of lavender and clementine in this. Those micas actually happen to be from Steph's Micas. And I'm going to add some TD to the base before I add the gratings, the soap gratings. I get those out here before I forget them. So next I'm just going to add this milk and yogurt, sodium lactate, and maple syrup. And how you do it is totally up to you. This is how, and that's one thing, you can follow people, but make things your own by what's more comfortable for you. So I'm just going to stick blend that just a tiny bit before I add my essential oils. Sorry about that. I love my stick blender, and this stick blender actually has been beautiful, but lately I'm getting bubbles with it, which I never did before. So maybe the seal is broke or something. So now I'm adding the essential oil and the apricot kernel oil, which what I was super fatting with. And like I said, I doubt very much if the super fat is going to end up apricot, simply because of the way saponification process works. With cold process. I'm just going to stir that in, and I have 2 cups for my colors. My colors are mixed up, 1 teaspoon with 1.5 teaspoons of water. I'm just going to give this a quick burst. Bringing that to light trace. And I'm just going to bang this a tiny bit because of those air bubbles. I don't have a lot of air bubbles, but I noticed I had a couple soaps that they were showing a bit. disappointing, but not a lot you can do. So now I'm gonna pour this into there. I'm thinking that's probably just eyeballing it because all the markings are gone off of my cups. Probably maybe just a cup or just over a cup. And these, my micas from Steph's, I mix with water. I just like it better. And I have a fork, a steel fork that I'm going to stir this up with. Just a bit. Next I'm going to add this titanium dioxide. And it doesn't turn this batter white, it just lightens it up to a beautiful yellow. Or it's what happened before. And I use titanium dioxide water soluble. I do dislike so much oil soluble, and I won't be buying that anymore. Now this one here, I am going to stick blend it a bit, so just excuse me if you would. I didn't want to shut you off because it goes pretty quick. Just burp in the blender. And I see that I actually got quite a bit of bubbles in that. Can you just turn, my husband's going to run the camera, just turn it off for a second. Hello. So I got most of those air bubbles out, and I also noticed that it was still really fluid, and I needed it a bit thicker, so I waited 3 minutes for that. And it's thickened up some, but not tremendously, of course. But so I'm going to add those soap gratings in here as much as I can. Now I just grated that before I made the soap, so, and because this is so fluid, I didn't spray those. When you have imbids with HP, you usually spray them so they adhere better to the batter. And I just stir these in so that I can make sure none of them are sticking together. Although invariably, some of them will. You just want to make sure that they're all covered there. So I'm going to get my husband, if he wasn't here, I would just set that box on a slant with a rolling pin or something. But he's here, so I'm going to get him to actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to get him to shut that camera off again because I think that's too soupy. I still think that's too soupy. But you know what? I think I'm going to, just let me see. I think I'm going to pour that anyway. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm going to pour that anyway. Okay. Cold processed soap is not my forte by any means. Okay, so basically what I do with this, and I'm sorry, it is tilting away from you. Can you hold it just like that, honey? Is I will put quite a bit of this batter in the bottom, and then a layer of the soap colors. I just go back and forth. So I did 2 rows of purple and 2 rows of orange, and then I'll do a little bit of this. Actually, I might do a bit more. Can you tip that down, please? That down a bit more like that. Okay. Got it? Mm-hmm. Save some of that for on top, I think, this time. The last time I did this, I put it all in, but I think I'm going to design the top this time. And I'm not good at that either, designing the top, but the thing about soap and designs is you want to make sure you have a soap that's good for the skin more than anything else. Just hold it like that. Taking a long time to thicken up. Tip it down a bit. Down. Okay, just put it all the way down. So that's about it for now, and because it's just not thick enough, praying that that will turn out anyway. And I'm going to let that thicken up. I'm going to do the top a bit, and I'll post pictures of the cut, and I'll post the formula that I used as well. So thank you for joining me today, and be safe out there. Bye-bye. And I forgot to say that thank you, Valerie Holden, for inspiring me to get back into cold process soap making. I really appreciate it. And giving me the idea on the lavender orange blend, because it is beautiful. And this essential oil that I just put together, blend for this, is just so fresh and lovely. I love it. So thank you very kindly. Bye-bye.